Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling a really big idea, one that connects, well, pretty much everything, from the health of our planet to our own health. It's called systems thinking. So let's just dive right in.
For most of Earth's history, the big changes were driven by massive natural forces. We're talking volcanoes, ice ages, asteroid impacts. But something has fundamentally changed, especially in the last couple of centuries. We, humanity, have become the main event, the primary architects of our planet's future.
And scientists actually have a name for this new age: the Anthropocene, the age of humans. It's basically a formal way of saying that our collective actions are now shaping everything, from the climate itself to the very chemistry of our oceans.
To really wrap our heads around the Anthropocene, we kind of have to change our whole perspective. We need to stop thinking of the Earth as just a big rock with some life sprinkled on top and start seeing it for what it truly is. One single, massive, deeply interconnected system.
Think of it almost like a living organism, right? The oceans, the atmosphere, the forests, the ice caps, they aren't just separate things existing side by side. They're all tangled up in this complex dance, exchanging energy and matter all the time. So change in one little part can send ripples through the entire structure in ways we're really only just starting to figure out.
And this quote, wow, it really hammers home the scale of our impact. It's not just one thing we're doing. It's a whole bunch of global-scale changes all happening at once. It's like we're not just passengers on Spaceship Earth anymore. We're actually in the cockpit, hands on the controls, steering this thing, whether we mean to or not.
So that leads to a pretty big question, right? How on earth do you even begin to understand something so enormous, so complex? I mean, trying to take in the entire Earth system all at once, it feels completely overwhelming.
Well, to make sense of a system that big, sometimes it really helps to scale things down, way, way down. So let's start with the most intricate and personal system any of us will ever get to know.
That's right, our own bodies. They are also these unbelievably complex, interconnected systems. And if we look at how we approach health, we can see a perfect parallel to how we think about the planet. It's fascinating.
Just think about this for a second. Millions of people suffer from things like chronic pain or fatigue, and often traditional medicine really struggles to explain why. And a lot of the time, it's because it's looking for a single broken part, like a specific organ that's failing or some chemical that's out of whack, instead of looking at the person as a whole, integrated system. And this brings us to two totally different ways of thinking. On one hand, you have the traditional reductionist approach. It tries to fix one isolated symptom. But on the other hand, you have a systems view, like this BodyMind Approach, which sees that our biology, our psychology, our social lives, it's all deeply connected. It refuses to draw a hard line between the mind and the body.
So, what happens when you make that switch? When you stop trying to just fix individual parts and instead start treating the body as a complete system that's trying to communicate with you?
Well, the body-mind approach, for instance, uses things like expressive movement and art and writing to help people actually listen to what their bodies are saying. So instead of seeing a symptom as some kind of malfunction you need to get rid of, is treated as meaningful information, a signal from your overall system about what it needs to find balance again.
And that shift in perspective, it's just profound. All of a sudden, the symptom isn't an enemy you have to fight anymore. It becomes an ally, something you can learn from. And that can change a person's entire relationship with their own body and their health.
So it's not really about finding some external fix, some magic pill. The real goal here is empowerment. It's about giving people the tools and the awareness they need to understand and manage their own internal system more effectively.
Okay, so now let's take that big idea and scale it all the way back up. Let's go from the personal back to the global, because we can apply this exact same kind of systems thinking to another huge system that shapes our entire world, the economy. So, the big question is, can this powerful shift from fixing isolated parts to understanding the whole system, can we apply that to how we manage our society and our planet? This debate in economics is a perfect mirror of what we just saw with health. On one side, you've got traditional environmental economics. It's reductionist. It basically treats nature as just another resource to be managed, and its favorite tool is cost-benefit analysis. But then you have ecological economics, which takes a systems view. It says, whoa, hang on. Our economy is just a small part of a much, much larger Earth ecosystem. Its tool isn't a simple calculation. It's something called adaptive management, which means constantly learning and adjusting based on the feedback the ecosystem gives us.
The difference really boils down to the questions they ask.
Environmental economics asks, what's the right price to put on this pollution? But ecological economics asks a totally different question. How do we redesign our economy so that it can operate sustainably within the non-negotiable limits of our planet?
So, we've been on quite a journey here, right? From the whole planet down to a single person, and then back out again to the economic system that shapes all our lives. And in every single case, we've seen the same fundamental choice in how we decide to think.
And this right here, this is the paradigm shift we've been talking about. It's this move away from a mechanical, reductionist mindset that loves to break things down into tiny pieces, and a move toward a holistic, systems-based way of thinking that sees the complex web of relationships that really defines our world.
You know, this isn't just some interesting academic idea to bat around. This is the central challenge of our time. We finally have the scientific understanding of the Earth as a system. The real test is whether we can actually use that knowledge to guide ourselves toward a safer, more sustainable future.
And that really leaves us with one final big thought. Whether we're talking about our own bodies, our communities, or our entire planet, just imagine what we could achieve if we finally stopped just trying to fix the broken parts and started trying to heal the whole system.